Ilia BMF title demand. Ilia has revealed a major stipulation before he agrees to defend his UFC featherweight title against Max Holloway. Topuria expects his first title defense after claiming the belt from Alexander Volkanovski in February to come against newly crowned BMF champ Max Holloway. Holloway made it clear he wanted to fight Topuria in the aftermath of UFC 300, and El Matador has shared similar sentiments. However, Topuria is refusing to be the only person to put his belt on the line. He demands Holloway put his BMF belt at stake too, otherwise he's not interested.
Greatest moments in the fight, we all know, was the last 10 seconds. Without that, I didn't like the fight at all. But what makes that fight special was the last 10 seconds, the real bad motherfucker moment. So you have to give him his credit, because I don't know, I didn't see any technique. I didn't see any strategy. I didn't see any power. I didn't see anything. I just see a bar fight. Even the last 10 seconds, it was amazing as a fan perspective. It was great to watch. Yeah, but before that, I didn't was impressed at all. Yeah, there is a lot of things involved in this fight. He got that belt. He has that bad motherfucker belt. So I'm excited to add that belt to my legacy too. UFC champion, the baddest motherfucker. What else? Without the BMF belt, I don't want him at all. If not, I'm gonna fight with Volk, who deserves more than him the rematch. He's being saying like, right now I have a lot of options, this and that. He didn't have any options. I'm the champion right now. I choose the date. I choose the place. So he just has to be ready, and he has to wait for the call. Whenever I want him, he has to be ready.
Currently, the BMF title has been fought for at higher weight classes, and as it stands, Dana White would need to work out if BMF title should be restricted to a particular weight class. Should the BMF title be moved around with the fighter if they move weight classes? Let us know what you think. Kamaru Usman and Max Holloway's eye pokes. Kamaru Usman says the potential impact of Max Holloway's eye pokes on Justin Gaethje can't be ignored. Usman's teammate and good friend Gaethje was mostly dominated and on the receiving end of a last-second knockout in his BMF title fight against Holloway this past Saturday at UFC 300. This is what Kamaru had to say.
But we can't shy away from the fact that this man, he took that knee to the nose, the kick to the nose at the end of the first round, just seconds left, or if not, zero time left. Took that kick to the nose, which plays a huge part in potentially moving on in the fight, because now you can't breathe the way you want to breathe in that fight. And on top of that, we have to see the two eye pokes. I mean, they were clear-cut, legit eye pokes, and it wasn't that Max was doing it maliciously or on purpose. They happen, and these are the type of things that can alter the outcome of a fight.
Mike Perry returned to MMA. Perry will return to bare knuckle FC ring against former UFC fighter Thiago Alves on April 27. He returns after a 2023 win against former UFC title holder Luke Rockhold and Eddie Alvarez in bare knuckle boxing. Perry still keeps an eye on MMA despite his newfound love for bare knuckle fighting. He's hinted at an MMA comeback, but after a recent phone call with Campbell, it appears it won't happen in the UFC. During a recent episode of the MMA Hour, Perry revealed that he recently tried to return to the UFC, but the promotion shut it down.
No, I called UFC and a couple times. I don't think Hunter Campbell will pick up my calls anymore because I guess I blasted him, but I didn't really put it out there like that. And it's not like I've tried to call him since. It's just I used what I had, and I told him a while back, I was like, hey man, before I even signed my contract, I could go from these 2-minute rounds just standing to everything back to 5 minutes, back to punching, kicking, grappling. But you guys got to make it worth my while, and they don't need it. They don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So I still think that it is a possibility in the future. I still see. Hunter did say something about, he tried to call me out and be like, I don't think you can be one of the top 5 guys in our divisions right now. And I'm like, well, sign me for one of the fights, and you gotta fucking pay me like I'm fighting a top 5 guy and bring me in and watch what happens. And he didn't want to do with that. He didn't, so that They were just looking other places. You know, they want these bodybuilders that come in for 10 and 10, and, you know, that's on them.
Aspinal returns. UFC interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinal announces his return to Manchester. Aspinal posted a video on social media discussing his return.
Right, just back from Vegas. Was over there doing YouTube stuff, meetings, all that stuff. Had a meeting with the UFC. It has now been confirmed that I am fighting on UFC Manchester, so I'm back home preparing for that now. Started the early stages of training camp. Just waiting for my opponent to accept. So stay tuned. Keep up with the socials, keep up with the YouTube channel, and I'll be announcing it very soon.
Aspinal didn't name an opponent, but he is expected to face Curtis Blaydes next. Razor is fresh off a knockout victory over Jailton Almeida in February at UFC 299, and he called to face the interim champion. Blaydes famously handed Aspinal a first-round stoppage loss due to an injury back in 2022. Who do you want to see Tom Aspinal face in his return? Let us know in the comments. Chael Sonnen and his theory on Jamal Hill's loss. Chael Sonnen believes Herb Dean's interference is to blame for Jamal Hill's loss at UFC 300. This is what he had to say.
And we broke it down. And I kept watching it. And you want to know what I finally saw? I finally saw something that I had never looked for. The entire time I watched Herb Dean, I looked back, I watched Alex finish, I go back, I watch Herb, watch Herb and Alex. What I never looked for is what Jamal did. Have you? Have you looked to see what Jamal did? Because Piera holds a hand and even says something to Herb. Stay back, I'm good. He says, and Herb, that was great communication. Herb was going to break the action to check on you. Whoa, he just checked on you. Right? Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be. But Jamal stops. And not 100%, right? I mean, if this is an automobile, I'm not saying that he put it in park and got out of it, but he stops. He stopped doing what he was doing and started doing something else, which was to relax. And then he's going, oh, okay. And you would understand where that would be that brief second. Like if that were you, you'd think that, right? You've never seen a referee step in and a fighter tell him get back. Like if the ref comes in after you know you just kicked the guy low, you're going to have a break in the action. So Jamal begins that break in the action when Herb gets notified and makes the decision that he's going to get out of it. At which point, Jamal, there's like another beat. And he does just like this. Can you guys see me? Okay, it's going to be very slight. Can you see me? I'm going to do it right now. Are you ready? That's what Jamal did. And he might have even said something. But this is what he did. He took his eye off that ball just for a second. But he turns that way, and now he's got to get back in. As he turns his head, Alex took the angle. This has never been spoke of.
Picking a fight. A drunk Karen nearly played a game of fuck around and find out with the UFC fighter Maycee Barber. In a video clip shared by an American CrossFit athlete and popular YouTuber Demi Bagby, a random woman appeared to be leaning against a vehicle. Bagby repeatedly says, "Get off my car," to which the woman defiantly stares back and insists that she's not doing anything wrong. This is what things
Please get off my car. Get off my car.
Move me.
No.
Touch me.
My car,
Don't touch
please.
me because I could bust you in your face.
Why are you busting me in my face?
I beat both of you motherfucking asses, but I won't.
Do it! Really? Try!
Listen, I want to get...
Try.
Phone.
Try.
Get your phones out.
Please stop touching my truck.